Hi Aries, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol, and this is going to be a general yearly reading for you. And this is going to be an incredibly transformative year, 2025, for all the signs. And in this reading in particular, I'm going to focus on 3 areas of your life. First of all, I want to help you, bring you to a place where you can move towards taking your own power back. I also want to move towards a more authentic you, and also I want you to help you move forward to your creative purpose. So let's take a quick look at the reading that I'm going to be doing for you right now. At the top left, I'm going to start off, you're going to notice on the top there's 2 cards, and I want to give you some energies for 2025. And so I'm going to pull a goddess card for you and a spirit animal. And then for the main part of the reading, I'm going to use the tarot to focus on the 3 big areas that I talked about: your own personal power, getting back to your truth, and your creative purpose. Now I want you to notice how the reading is divided into 2 sections in the middle. And so you have your inner world on the left-hand side, and then your outer world on the right. And you'll notice the cards are numbers. So 2, 4, 6 is the inner world, and the outer are the 1, 3, and 5 cards. Now take a look at the outer world. It's white. It's actually sitting on a large mirror, because your outer world is your conscious world. It's the one that you're aware of. You know, you look out the window and this is what I see. And this is consciously what you're aware of. And there's always something in the universe that's reflecting. So your outer world is a mirror for you. It's reflecting something that needs healing in your shadow. It's coming up for healing from your unconscious. And so what's happening on the inside is always your inner world, and it's your unconscious. It's your shadow. So that's the part of you that you can't see. It's the part of you that you have put away or you've repressed when you were younger, because there were parts of you that were shunned or shamed and unacceptable to people to be around. But your inner world, your shadow, is the part that has the biggest impact on everything that's going on in your outer world. It will drive and influence all your patterns, your belief systems about yourself, and it's going to block you from taking that next step that you need in your life. So you will definitely notice it the most in all your relationships around you. So once you start watching around you, once you start building awareness around this mirror concept in your life, that's when you're going to begin to find and excavate what lives in your unconscious, your shadow self. And if you continue to ignore it, it's going to keep coming back again and again until you resolve it. And then in the last position, number 7, I'm going to ask for some advice from the tarot, and also look at pulling a card for you for from the shaman's dream. And so I'll put you on a speed shuffle right now as I lay out all your cards. Okay, I'm back. I think that part of the reading takes about 10 minutes. That's why I put on speed dial. All right, so Aries, I'd like to call you the courageous leader. So we're going to look at, how is that going to come into play for you in your reading right now? So let's look at, first of all, I want to look at the goddess tarot the dark goddess tarot that I pulled for you, right, for this year. So I pulled the Sphinx. And the Sphinx is the Greek monster of fate. And the question that it asks at the bottom of this picture here in the book is, how do you define your life limits? It's not a question. How you define your life limits your life. So the Sphinx is a fearsome 4-fold creature having the head of a woman, the wings of an eagle, the body of a lion, and a serpent-headed tail. She is one of a family of winged demons like the Furies and the Harpies, who ravage the living at the bidding of the Greek gods. She plagues the outskirts of the town of Thebes as punishment for an ancient crime. She challenges all who travel the road to solve her riddle. What creature walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at midday, and 3 legs in the evening? The answer encompasses the entirety of a human life from infancy to old age. Those who do not understand the answer that she seeks, ask them to define and claim their own life. They're killed if they don't understand. So, when the Sphinx appears in your life, definitions work 2 ways, helping you understand reality and separating your perception from reality. So upholding or debating rigid definitions can require endless vigilance. Find your own reality, the only position you must defend, and find the center of your power. Wow, that is powerful for you this year, in that I just called you the courageous leader, but it's asking you to find the center of your power, which really means to me is calling you to become grounded in this courage that you're going to bring forth this year. Awesome. And then we're going to look at, spirit animal for you from the spirit animal deck right here. And you got the cat spirit. Claim your independence. So when cat spirit meows, she's calling you to claim your independence and allow for some space between you and others in your life. The only way you can grow in all your relationships now is to have a healthy sense of self-respect and self-worth. When you walk with dignity, knowing who you are, self-aware and willing to grow, trusting the value you bring, the world will mirror all this back to you in kind. So, cat spirit is here to urge you to let your independent spirit roam free. But I think it's really important here that you also have this goddess Sphinx here to not only, because Aries has very much a tendency to want to push forward, move forward, go with it, sometimes can be a little bit very impulsive. But I think it's asking you to kind of slow down this year and kind of, get a sense of what it means to be grounded. So let's look at your reading. I'm fascinated. I'm interested to get into this just to see what's going to bring you. So we're going to look at the outer world right here. First of all, we're going to look at the outer world, and then I'm going to go to the inner world of that section, okay? So start off with the outer world, and I want to look at what pattern or old habit do you need to let go of this year that is no longer serving you. And in order to take your power back, it's going to be very crucial that you let go of this pattern or this old habit. So we start off with the Ace of Pentacles. No surprise here, because the Ace of Pentacles, the pentacle itself, it's in reverse, this card. The pentacle itself is your body. And so when the Ace of Pentacles, when any ace comes up in any of the suits, it's an offer for you to take this from the universe. It's a gift. And so the first card in your reading says, do you want this card? Do you want this? Do you want this gift, this offer to learn what it means to be centered? To learn what it means to be grounded into your body, right? I think Aries is very much, it is a sign that rules the head. And so we have to be very careful if you're Aries, because we have a strong ego. I'm saying we, I'm not an Aries, but you have a strong ego, and your ego can take over without you knowing it. So you can be someone that lives very much in your head. And this card is your new offer here that says, Aries, are you willing to discover this other side of you, which is your body? There's a resistance on your part to taking it, to going there, a huge fear maybe. And I think that's why the word courageous is coming up here, because if we have lived a lot of our life up in our head and not even realizing it and being directed by our ego, it'll be a real scary thing to learn how to become grounded and to get back into your body. There is right here, it's like this direction here. The universe is wanting to take you into this direction. These wands talk about your creative purpose. So there's two wands here that come right after this offer for you from the universe. And so I think that, I think the pattern that needs to be released here is that one where you become very focused and impulsive on taking your life in a certain direction. It's like, wait a minute here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Are you grounded? And I think the next time, when you start to get into that habit of going right up in your head and going for it, it's like you're putting your foot on the pedal of, the gas and going, I'm going for this. I'm gone. Goodbye. It's like, well, wait a minute here. Slow down. Let's get grounded, right? And get focused on where you want to go. This Three of Wands, again, is it talks about where you're wanting to go, right? But it's in reverse here because it's like, there's, like I said, you're not grounded, or there's a resistance for you. Wait a minute here. Let's get grounded here. So I think there's a real calling for you to get grounded, to become aware of, that you can be very much up in your head. And so what is driving this habit that you have of, being so impulsive and not wanting to be grounded into your body? You have, like I said, this very courageous part of you that wants to take control. So what is it that drives this from your childhood, from your adolescence, that is preventing you from getting grounded into your body? What is it about that maybe frightens you and you have this resistance to doing it? Well, then the first card comes out for you is the Nine of Pentacles. And remember, this is your shadow. This is your unconscious. You're not aware of this. And the Nine of Pentacles talks about, in an upright position, it talks about commitment. And it talks about bringing awareness to what you're doing. And I think at a younger age, the whole thing about bringing awareness to what you were doing, yeah, there might have been the commitment here or not. But I think there was like this, almost like you learned at a very young age not to be aware of your body. There was something about that really was frightening for you when you were younger, that you learned not to bring awareness to it. And yet, this Fool card comes out right in the middle of this and the King of Wands. The Fool card I love the Fool when it comes out. You have the Fool twice in your reading. You have it over here in your main obstacle that's preventing you from moving forward here. And then you have it right here in your shadow up here. I'm going to be honest with you, the Fool card does not come up often in my readings. And I always say that when it comes up, you need to pay attention to it. It's come up 2 times for you in this reading. This particular card, when it's in your shadow, talks about the innocent, having that innocence of a child. And just, trusting that the universe has your back, trusting that someone has your back. That innocence, that trust that you needed to have is right here, taken away from you. It's in your unconscious. It's in your shadow. And so I think at a very young age, you learn not to trust your body, not to be in your body. You learned not to bring awareness to it. And the King of Wands is the last card that sits, which is very interesting. It sits here in your shadow behind those 2 things that you learned as a child. When we are younger, the king in my deck is the ego self. Represents the masculine side of us. And I talked about the ego a little bit with you. And remember that, like I said, your sign rules the head, so you're very much ego driven. And this reading is going to be very important for you because it's time where you need to become aware of your body. When you were younger and when you learned from a very young age that not to bring awareness to your body, not to go into your body, not to trust your body, that your ego self would have kicked in. And the ego self is a part of us that is absolutely petrified. Most times when we're very afraid, it is because we are in our ego. Our ego is the most scared part of us that we have. They're petrified of emotions. Emotions are in our body. And so this ego self here has protected you when you were younger, because the emotions that you were not allowed to have when you were younger, and you found out at a very young age that they were dangerous, you put those away. This ego self put them away, and it helped you stay up in your head. And so now it's like, all right, here's the chance now for you to find out about your body this year. There's an offer on the table for you. And so let's go to your truth. What false idea or belief about you do you need to become aware of? And so let's look at what you know, and then I'm going to look at what's driving this. So this is your outer world. Well, you know that you're an individual. Here's the hangman. The hangman in an upright position is someone that's extremely comfortable hanging there. I mean, look at them. They even have it reminds me of that position when you're and this is always in reverse, this card right now. But this card looks like it's, one of those individuals that's sitting on going down a roller coaster. I hate those things. At one point in time, I could put my arms up and I would never even go on one now. But it's always that tick, 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 that I just can't do that anymore. So, yeah, you're on that roller coaster and you're just feeling so comfortable. I remember being at some park in Ohio years ago when I was younger. And I think I went on this Blue Streak ride 17 times with my arms up in the air, and I'm just like, I don't know how I ever did it. And so that's the hangman, just very comfortable in their own skin and not afraid to hang upside down, not afraid to go on those roller coasters, whatever. But this is coming in reverse here for you. And so I'm seeing that, as a person of this section is all about your authenticity and moving towards who you really are. Because I don't think what false idea about yourself, you don't feel comfortable in your own skin at all. So when I'm sitting here talking about, that you're a leader and that you have this courage, and you might be somebody that is very impulsive, and yeah, you might start new projects, you might do things, but then you don't finish them, right? Like you can't carry through with them. And so I think because you don't feel comfortable being in your own skin, you remain up in your head, because there's no way you're going to go in your body to feel these emotions. You don't feel comfortable in your body. And then this is the Devil card that comes next. And so this tells me that you have some addictions that are really covering up, that you're using to cover up this discomfort that you have of being in your own body. And so, and that's what we do. That's what addictions are. Like if we were to go into our body, we feel these big emotions because we need to heal a lot of this stuff from our childhood. And so what we do is we take on our addictions. I have many of them. My biggest one is my overeating. I've always been an overeater. And for me, I know that when I go grocery shopping, or if I'm really binging and craving sugar, there's something coming up for me, and that's my go-to to grab anything that will, I can't keep that stuff in the house. If I bring it in my house, it's gone within a day or two. I just can't keep it in my house. So, so I'm seeing here that you're someone that definitely covers up that discomfort that you have of being in your body. And so that's what I think you need to become aware of, is that you have that, I think you have to look at what is that discomfort of that feeling that you have of yourself. Maybe it's some unworthiness. We're going to go and look in your shadow right now as to, what is it? What's driving this illusion that you can't get in your body, that it's a beautiful thing to get in your body, beautiful thing to feel your emotions, but it's like, no, I don't want to get in that thing. I don't even want to go there. I don't want to touch my emotions. And so the first card that comes from your shadow that comes out for you is, you had two cards and one was clarified by the other. You have the Two of Swords, first of all. And the Two of Swords is tells me that swords are our mental energy. And swords are these things that people tell us about ourselves and we believe them. And so I see here that when you were younger, you really shut down. Like the Two of Swords talks about this individual that has these crossed swords over their heart, right? People told you things when you were younger and you had to protect your heart. And in order to protect your heart that lives in your body, you had to go right up in your head. And this card usually has this blindfold. In this case, this has this picture of this cow with their eyes closed. And so, you know, you had this blindfold on and you just completely shut down because people told you things about yourself that were not true. But you believed them. You're young. You're a sponge when you're younger, right? And then here's this Four of Wands and that clarifies this card. And it's in a reverse position here. The Four of Wands talks about, it's a card that speaks often in an upright position. It's like a celebration card. I mean, just imagine these two bees sitting here in front of these two beautiful flowers and they're celebrating spring. And it's like, wow, man, we get to go eat our pollen. But this is in reverse here. And so I think when you were younger, there was like, you know, your body to you was not a celebration. Your body to you was not something that anyone taught you that was a beautiful thing. And I think what happened was you kind of went, no, I'm not going to celebrate my body. I'm not going to, because the Four of Wands talks about like walking away from this control. And I think you had this control, these thoughts that you had about yourself were controlling you when you were younger, and to make you believe that your body was not a safe place to be in. And then I want to say no freaking surprise, but I'll just say no surprise. You have the King of Pentacles again. So you had the King up here, and then you get the King again sitting right beside it. This is your shadow. And again, you have this King, our ego self. And it's here to tell you that the Pentacle is about the body. And this ego self would have told you when you were younger, well, if it's not a safe place to be, if you were told these things about yourself and you learned that your body was not a safe place to be, then this ego self made sure that we're going to keep you in your head. Again, this is the King of Pentacles, the king of the body, of grounding. The last place this ego self wanted you to be was in your body. It was petrified of emotions. And so you have to understand that the ego is a part of us that protects us. Protects us when we're younger because we need protection from these big emotions. But when we get older, that's when we need to learn to, okay, it's time to set our ego aside. But our ego doesn't understand that. It still thinks that we're in our childhood. And so we have to teach it. We have to reteach it. It's just like, no, I'm setting that ego aside now. And there's a lot of fear when we do that. It takes a lot of courage to get back in our bodies, right? And the ego will fight you. Will fight you to get back in your body. And that's where this illusion comes out about yourself. And so your purpose now. Let's see how we can, this is a process, so we're going to take a little bit at a time. A small step. So we're trying to get to, what the next step that you want to do. What's the next step for you with your healing? What's the next step towards your purpose, your true purpose, your authentic self, and what you came here to do on this earth? Well, the two cards that come out for you here is starts off with a Page of Wands. Two wand cards here, which is, it's your, and you get your Eight of Wands right behind it. So the Wands is the creative expression of you. It's our creative purpose. It's your authentic self. And when I say your purpose, or when I say your creative purpose, creative, I mean that it's putting you first. It's doing something that maybe you've always wanted to do. It's doing something that people would look at you and go, what the hell is that person doing that for? You know, all these people are going to come out of the woodwork and question you and ask you why you're doing this. But no, this is you. This is you stepping out into your courage. This is you stepping out into your leadership role, into your grounded leadership role. And so this Page of Wands here, the pages in my deck are our inner children. And we have more than one inner child, because I've been on this intensive healing journey for a while now, that I know that I have more than one inner child. And the Page of Wands is the inner child that knew when you were about 4, 5, 6 years old what direction you were supposed to go in. Believe it or not, we came here on this earth and we knew when we were younger what our purpose was, what direction we were supposed to go into. But that's in reverse here because it's blocked. And so there's a part of you, an inner child here, that knew who they were, that needs healing. I think when you were younger, look at this, I love this Eight of Wands. Look where you were going. Imagine this little child right here. Knew where they were going, you know, full of life, had the Fool backing them up, had all that innocence of a child. And look at the birds there, were right behind them, you know, following them as their protector. Going up those stairs, knew exactly where you were going. And that got blocked, got taken away, right? And so I think your outer world is, I think you're feeling kind of stuck right now with as far as where to go. Maybe you know where you want to go, or maybe you don't know. But in order for you to get there, there's an inner child that needs healing. There's a lot of grief. Our inner children hold a lot of emotions, big emotions, grief, sadness about not being able to do what they were meant to do or wanted to do when they were younger. Like I said, maybe you know what that is and maybe you don't, but there's definitely an inner child that needs healing here, and it's feeling blocked and stuck. And then here's the Seven of Wands here that comes out for you. Seven of Wands talks about an individual that's that's deciding to take their life into this new direction and into their purposeful direction. But it meets up with, look at all these individuals here at the bottom, and I talked about that earlier, how I said, you know, the Creative Wands is about taking your life in that direction you want to go to, and people are going to turn around and go, wait a minute here, come down from that freaking pedestal you put yourself on. Who do you think you are doing this, right? And so that's what we're faced with when we want to become more visible in our world, when we want to decide, okay, I'm doing this for me, and people around you are going to notice. You're going to have all these people that are coming out at you. And so I'm seeing here that you are not feeling supported and you are not feeling validated by, you know, going up these steps right here. You're not feeling that. And then the last card that comes out for you is your Fool card. Beautiful, like I said, because here it is over here sitting in your shadow, right? For your power, that courageous power. The universe is giving you the Fool card again right now. It's saying, okay, when you were younger, you didn't have that courage. You didn't have that trust. You didn't feel like anybody had your back. But you're an adult now. We're going to give this back to you right now. Here you go. We have your back. And that's up to you to trust that the universe has your back, right? What's in your shadow? What is, you know, causing you to become blocked here? Not feeling supported? Maybe not feeling that the universe has your back, you know? And so why? What's here? Well, the first card comes out is the High Priestess in reverse. And the High Priestess is a card that is part of the Major Arcana. So it's like a major universal force here that comes out that we have access to. This is a feminine side of us. I talked about the ego self. That's the masculine side. This is a feminine side to us. It is actually the first half of the feminine energy in the major arcana. The second half is the Empress. And the High Priestess, she has a veil on her face, and this card is in reverse because she's blocked right now. This is blocked. So she represents, you know, this hidden wisdom, right? She has a veil on her face, very much hidden, and you can see the moon card, the crescent moon here, representing, you know, moon. When moon comes out, it's kind of like these things that are hidden, these things that people kind of are scared of. And so this is the feminine aspect to herself, and she represents our inner guidance, which is called our intuition. And she's blocked. You have everything it takes in you to take your life into this direction. That obviously, you know, you need to heal this inner child first in order to go here. And this intuition, which is your inner guidance, you can get to, and it'll tell you, you know, where you're meant to go. But here's the thing about your High Priestess and why she's blocked and why your intuition is blocked right now. That's what's blocked. That's what's blocking you right now, is your inner guidance. Because our ego can only take us only so far. We have to go inwards. Why is she blocked? Because we can't access our own inner intuition unless we are grounded. And that's why this card is the first card that comes out for you right here. Will you accept this pentacle to get back in your body, out of your head, and to become grounded and learn how to ground this year? And then the Six of Pentacles comes out here. Six of Pentacles talks about, all my sixes, first of all, have a duality to them, which means there's kind of two sides to this card. And this is all about this giving and receiving, this individual that's giving, handing out, balancing out these pentacles for these beggars. You know, if one says, I'll have 3 pentacles, well, he's going to balance it out. He's going to weigh it out and says, well, okay, here's your 3 pentacles. That's all you think you're worth. I'm going to give you 3 pentacles, right? So it's that whole giving and receiving thing here. And the balance scale also talks about, you know, bringing truth to the matter, balancing things out here. And so I think it's very much has to be a year for you where there's a lot of unworthiness that's sitting here. This is really an unworthiness card, right? It's what you feel. Whatever you feel about yourself is what you're going to bring in. This is very much an unworthiness card. Feeling like you are unworthy. Here's your Page of Wands right here. Because you felt that when you were younger because you weren't able to take your life in the direction you wanted to go to. And so this year, I want to look at, first of all, what's the advice from the tarot for you. I gave you a lot today. It was a fantastic reading for you, but it's a lot for you to digest. And I'm hearing a major thing that I heard throughout this whole reading is that there's this real call for you to get back into your body and to start to ground yourself, right? And to get in touch with your intuition. And so what's the advice from the tarot here? Well, the advice is the first card is the Nine of Wands. Nine of Swords. And I think for me, this card, when it comes up, is, I mean, it's often described as a card of someone that is up at night with their spinning in their head. Our swords here, you didn't get a lot of swords. Most of your readings about wands. But your swords talks about your mental thoughts. These are the things that you tell yourself, like, I'm not worthy enough. I don't deserve this. I can't do this. Those are the things you're hearing because those are the things that your ego self continues to tell you. These are the things that people told you when you were younger. And this card tells me that there's something coming up for you. Whenever this card comes in my reading, it's like there's a memory that's coming up, or memories. There's emotions that are coming up for you that may be keeping you spinning at night. If you're one of those people that are having trouble sleeping or wake up at 3, 4 in the morning and don't know what to do with themselves because their mind, they can't calm it. You know, and that's part of this devil here, these addictions that help calm our mind for sure. Something coming out for you. And there's a new direction for you. Ace, another ace here. You know, you have the Ace of Pentacles to start off with, which is getting back in your body, and this is the direction There's a new direction for you. Maybe you know what it is. But there's an inner child that needs to heal. There's some healing that needs to be done. And last card for you is the Temperance card from the universe. This is a beautiful card to remind you about this journey is a process. It takes time. All of this stuff that I put on the table for you today takes a lot of time to heal. And we do it a little bit by a little bit by a little bit. It's like, what small step can you take? What small step can you take to go towards healing yourself? I'm going to leave you, before I give you your last card here, I'm going to leave you with two playlists that they are my number one tools that I use. And the one is grounding, how to ground yourself. I teach you how to ground yourself in this video. And also how to journal from your emotions. Those are my two number one tools that I use in my own healing journey. And they're taken from my other channel called Carol Cares. And then here's your last card here, which is from the Shaman's Dreams Oracle. It's called Covenant, Sacred Contract number 7. It's about commitment, sacred contract, the greater good. You are being invited now by the universe to enter into a sacred contract. The Covenant card may also be a call to recognize that an ancient agreement you made with Spirit needs to be renewed or canceled and torn up. Is an opportunity showing up right now that is full of promise, but you are unable to sign and seal the deal and commit to it? The reason is that it needs to be elevated to a sacred covenant. A covenant must be founded on truth, not your truth or his truth or her truth, but a greater truth that takes the destiny of all into account. Spirit must be invited to come to the table as guarantor of the good faith of all and to ensure that the direction you are embarking in will be for the greater good. It's important that you understand that what you are signing up for. Be sure to read the fine print so as to not commit to something you will soon regret or that will compromise your integrity. Do not hesitate to put all your own cards on the table so that your motives and desires are transparent and nothing is left behind in darkness. When shadow elements remain hidden, the covenant breaks down and becomes a contract with an unspoken dark side that is inevitably fulfilled. Wow. And I think you know what the contract is. To get back into your body and start to ground and get in touch with your intuition. Fantastic reading for you, Aries. I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This journey is the most difficult journey of your life, but it's the most important one. And I will talk soon. Bye.